This is the story of the legendary maniac Bolog. Known for his big smile, his bitey teeth, and his friendly demeanor, the maniac garnered millions and millions of views. He lived in Middle-earth alongside Talion through many civil wars, pit fight tournaments, and rebellions. But all of this took a toll on the maniac. He wanted more, so he set off in search of an oasis, a new land where orcs and ologs could live peacefully despite their mental ailments. The land of Lithlad, created by the ashes from the eruption at Mount Doom, home to the fire drakes and the giant sandworms. The maniac thought these lands to be perfect to build his new civilization. But there was a blight on these lands. An evil dictator had taken over, Bolog the Conqueror.
No mercy! And for you, no hope!
A distant relative of Bagabug the Stormbringer, a cruel and savage Uruk who recently travelled to Lithlad, slayed Bagabug the Stormbringer, and set this region under his domain. Talion knew that the maniac did not know this, so he went in pursuit. He couldn't let one of his best, most viral friendly boys fall to the cruelty of the Conqueror. But when he arrived in Lithlad, he could not summon him.
I'm swine! Always calling for your lads. What's the matter? Afraid of being alone?
You're not alone now.
Og, the quartermaster to Bolog the Conqueror, clearly sent to investigate this new presence in Lithlad. In comparison to what Talion has been through in the last 2 years, this orc was nothing. He was used to fighting waves of painless ologs, crazy maniac orcs, brilliant alchemists, undead necromancers, and raging scorpions. Compared to that, Og was nothing.
Oh, get hit!
Talion could have easily beheaded him, but he decided to send a message instead. Og may still have a role to play in this story.
You wasted my time.
Here it is, the great fortress of Lithlad, built upon the erupted ashes of Mount Doom. And here is the mad tyrant conqueror, Bolog, along with his band of hand-picked warchiefs. The Biter, the champion of Gorgoroth, the gluttonous, the broiler, the fanatical, and the legendary. Talion wasn't here for them, he was here for the maniac. He set off in search of him, trying to follow his aura, which led him to this outpost. After slaying the guards and searching the outpost, Talion watched and waited, all the way until nightfall.
Dim the flame, and we'll attract the ghouls. Such lovely creatures.
The Lord of Maggots caught his eye. He was doing a routine ghoul extermination. Not wanting to miss his chance, Talion swooped in. He desperately needed information, and he couldn't risk the Lord of Maggots succumbing to the many ghouls that were now emerging from their burrows.
Not the prey we were looking for, but I bet you screamed louder than any beast.
The ghouls were many in number, but they were kept at bay due to Talion's poison explosive, Elven Light. Thanks to his machine armor, it made quick work of these underminers. With those ghouls now gone, Talion could focus on the Lord of the Maggots. He was going to extract as much knowledge about this region and its overlords as possible. He also took this chance to shame down this orc, making his mind more susceptible to Talion's Nazgul powers. Set on making the Lord of Maggots Talion's guide, he followed him.
Keep an eye on our treasures, lads, and no filching, unless you want me to take your fingers. I want no supplies, and we're getting them no matter what.
Talion swooped into action to help him, but he can't resist a good zipline. Ah, there's the orc that the Lord of Maggots is fighting. Judging by the helmet, you can tell that he's part of Bolog the Conqueror's clan. Maybe he's on to the fact that Talion is trying to recruit the Lord of Maggots. Either way, he's got to go.
You made me live with this shame. That proves you're getting fond of torture, Ranger.
Talion engages in combat with the killer, while the Lord of Maggots burns on the side. He then turned his attention back to the Maggot Lord. He was proving to be very tough. But Talion is persistent.
Beaten, you will serve.
Oh, the fun we'll have.
With his guide now secured, Talion needed to adjust to this new climate, this new region. He equipped his legendary outlaw weapons and armor. Now fully decked out, he could set his sights on finding the maniac. Maggots informed him that there might be an orc that knows the whereabouts of the maniac in the eastern part of the region. He said with a grin on his face that he could set up a meeting.
If anyone tries to get through here, you boys will have to stop them and rip their insides out.
Rip them to pieces and take control of that road.
Maggots arrived to the outpost with his band of grunts in tow, ready to face Grisha the Rash, a warmonger assassin orc with a severe fear of flies. It didn't take long for the two of them to wear down the Rash, but Talion could feel something stirring inside him. The Nazgul rage was taking over. He ended Rash lives with a swift back kick. As he stared over the crumpled corpse, the rage took over again. Thankfully, however, the Rash wasn't the orc they came here to find.
Today, you die on behalf of my blood brother. It's what he would have wanted, and it's what I want.
Grom the Fool, the blood brother to the Rash. Despite his name literally being the Fool, he does apparently hold information about the whereabouts of the maniac. And that is enough for Talion to beat him within an inch of his life, before using his necromancer powers to peer into the Fool's mind. The Fool's mind spoke to Talion. It said that we'll never find him in time. We are all hunting him.
Mind crush!
Talion still had a rage deep inside. He took his anger out by killing all of these orcs. And then destroying this statue of Sauron. He then took it upon himself to attack every single captain in this region until he found the maniac.
Yeah, yummy! Your time in the light is over. I will kill you and offer you to the darkness. You will never open your eyes again.
Starting off with the Nightbringer. Talion hurtles himself at the fire. The fire doesn't go off, but the spiders still show up. Talion, feeling cruel, decided to let the spiders have their way with the Nightbringer, before finally putting him out of his misery. He wasn't done yet. Nearby, he could sense the presence of a recently made maniac, the Fool. Losing his mind had only made him more bloodthirsty. Now he was turning his attention to the innocent ghouls captured. Talion decided to give these beasts a helping hand. He laid arrow after arrow into the Fool's skull. During this onslaught, the ghoul's den mother ran off on fire. Talion thought it was time to step in. He landed a fatal strike on the Fool, and he dropped to his knees. The tank class bonus death-defying. It lets the orc get a last burst of adrenaline right before the final blow. This would be a lifesaver for most Orcs, but not when Talion's involved. Together with the help of the Den Mother, they were able to weaken back down the foe. But sadly, before the ghoul could finish the job, the fool got a lucky strike on it. Enraged by this, Talion threw the fool from the highest peak he could find. Talion continued to hunt other orcs in the region that served Bolog the Conqueror.
There he is! Don't even try to catch me!
Until finally... It was him, the maniac Bolog. Talion's searching was finally over. Just look at that big smile. Excited to see the maniac after so long, Talion just completely ignored the other two orcs and jumped on down to say hello. And just look at that big smile. The maniac was ecstatic to see Talion after so long, but their chat would have to wait. There was two orcs that needed dealing with. And just when we had those two orcs beat, an Bolog shows up.
Lots of orcs around, but my guess is none of them will touch you. He'll smash you to bits first.
But Deadwood arrived too late. I need to point out just how savage Deadwood is. The moment he starts fighting, he picks up his announcer orc and hurls him at Talion. This causes the other orc, Garl, to flee in terror.
The strategy is flawed! Fall back!
But no one escapes Nazgul Talion. As soon as we eliminate one captain, another one shows up.
Listen to the sound of my horn! It's the sound of impending doom! The sound of your death!
But he quickly succumbs to some elven light poison. Thanks to the outlaw equipment, this poison is even more effective. All that was left was for the maniac and Talion to work together to finish off the Deadwood. The maniac was just happy to be back killing again with Talion. After the fight, he explained exactly what he was doing here. He explained how he wanted to create a region where all of the damaged orcs could live in peace. Talion understands and agrees to help the maniac with the next stage of his plan.
Boring, boring, boring!
I don't know when we'll meet again, but I'll be ready and you'll be steady.
I've killed many of your fellows. Now I will kill your beasts.
He snuck his way into the fortress. He was going to systematically open up every single Caragor cage in this fortress. He was looking for a very specific orc, and it worked like a charm. The Beast Tamer. Killing him would significantly weaken the maniac's fortress. Despite this orc also being crazy, the maniac knew that he would never join forces with the likes of Talion. Which left him with only one choice: extermination. As the Beast Tamer's head clattered to the floor, Talion received word from the maniac. He needed some assistance.
Things would be different if I wasn't tied up!
Oh, come on. It's all right to be afraid. Cast away that false bravado. All of you, get in touch with that fear.
The maniac had interrupted the execution, pissed off the Bone Snapper, and was now facing 2 orcs by himself. Talion had to get involved. The maniac probably could win the fight, but the ranger didn't want to leave it up to chance. He'd only just gotten the maniac back. He couldn't let some runts take him away again, especially not a halfling lover. Talion stabbed him in the shoulder and then threw him off a small ledge. Actually, this time it might have been quite a reasonably sized ledge. After the fight, Talion was then tracked down.
So you want to fight? Well, here I am.
It was one of those amazing situations created by the nemesis system where the orc just seemingly appears right when Talion marks him for death. This saves Talion a lot of time. And plus they get to fight in the nice area of Lithlad. Yes, there is a nice area of Lithlad. It's right here, it's the oasis where Baranor's brother ruled. And if you don't know what I'm talking about and you don't know who Baranor is, then check out these videos right here. I did a whole series on it. With the cocky gatekeeper now weakened, Talion tried to throw him off this small ledge to finish him off. But I guess there actually are some ledges that are too small. Anyway, a headshot does the trick and Nazi falls into the water. This now leaves the fortress without any tamed beasts and without a gatekeeper. But Talion's not finished yet. He goes off in search of someone else key to the fortress. He'd also gotten word from the maniac that his allies were entering the region.
Boring! You are not getting away from me this time! Boring, boring, boring! Over here!
I got you this blade. Sorry about the blood on it.
The crazy ghoul keeper was taking on the map keeper. That's right, he was gonna knock out the conqueror's maps. I don't know if that's really gonna do too much, but yes, we're gonna get rid of the maps. Together with the Lord of Maggots at his side, anything's possible. But the maps? Really? Are the maps vital to defending the fortress? I really don't think so. Anyway, because the ghoul lover is here, he summons a ghoul army, including a bloody ghoul den mother, and together they slaughter the map keeper. He takes his head in probably the most painful way possible, using the blunt end of his shield. Ow. After this display of strength, Talion agrees. The ghoul keeper can join the army. Talion then goes to assess the next of the maniac's Warchief candidates.
I want this camp well guarded at all times.
He's tracked down Gura Desolation.
Don't know.
Another crazy orc. The maniac clearly has a type. Talion jumps on in to take out the rest of the grunts, leaving the 2 captains to have a fair fight. I say a fair fight. The mindless causes severe damage to him while he is just running around on fire. This scene just really reminds me of Will Ferrell from Talladega Nights.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God!
When he's done prancing around, he actually decides to retreat.
He has turned! Retreat and lift your fight again!
Which I think is absolutely pathetic for an orc with such a badass name like Desolation. But before he can run away, he succumbs to the Mindless's poison. Actually, I don't think the Mindless has any poison. It was probably Talion's poison. Oh, no, he does. I can see the trail of it now. The Mindless runs off after his victory. He's probably going to go kill some small animals because he is certifiably crazy. Oh, look at this poor guy. Talion then met up with the maniac at the pit fight arena. One of his minions was going in there to prove himself. Is he going to be worthy to join the army and revolutionize Lithlad?
You've been lucky so far, and that luck is about to end!
As you can see, Luga the Meat is extremely weak. So much weaker than the other archer orc. But he's got courage, he's got determination, and most importantly, he is batshit crazy. But at the moment, he is just getting bullied by the Caragors. Come on, Mindless. You've got this. Don't you want to revolutionize Lithlad? He charges, but he completely misses. Probably because, like I've said many, many times, he is crazy. It seems like the archer is just shooting him from far away, and then the Caragors get him. But look! The meat breaks through the Caragor defenses and lands some strikes, but it does basically no damage. He goes for the rugby tackle, gets him to the floor, does the ground and pound, hits him with the triple, quadruple strike again, hits him on the floor. He's got no honor. He's broken now. Hits him with the massive meat protein burps. Oh my god, don't let that get in your eyes. That will sting. He then throws some of his meat chopping cleavers. It's so close. He chops into his shoulder like chopping into a big pork chop. The archer tries to back away, but he gets tackled again. The punches. Look at the meat wins. The Caragor trader is gone. My goodness. A level 45 just beat a level 75. The maniac is completely shocked by this. I've never seen him so shocked. He runs in to celebrate with the meat. While those two celebrate this rare win, Talion goes in search of more captains that can help us take the fortress. We come across a singer orc. Now, hear me out. While singer orcs are not inherently crazy, I would argue that an orc that becomes a singer in Middle-earth definitely has some screws loose. Because of this, Talion decides to investigate to see if this orc can make the cut. Make the cut. You see what I did there? Subscribe to the video right now for my comedic genius.
You may have heard of one like me. He prances and dances and sings with glee. Wherever there's strife, the singer is there. He slaughters and slays with such merry flair. I sing this song with all my breath. Take heed, for this interlude ends with your death.
Never get me alive!
I don't know when we'll meet again, but I'll be ready and you'll be deady.
My goodness, Talion thinks to himself. An orc that would sing this beautifully in Middle-earth as an orc and then retreats, even though he's got more than half health. This orc is most definitely crazy enough.
The singer song will never end.
At the very least, he can play lovely little tunes for the crazy orcs. Talion then set off on his drake. He was looking to weaken the fortress's defenses once again. The orc he was looking to draw out was in charge of all fire defenses, adequately named the Fire Belly.
I came all the way out here to face whoever put a death threat on me. And now you won't even show yourself? Ridiculous.
What do you mean? Talion's right here, lad. Take some of this, you bloody Fire Belly. Hear me out, guys. Do you not think that somebody called the Fire Belly, if they ever make a third game, would be able to breathe fire? Like, all he would need to do is hold up a flaming torch and just spit some grog. And they've already got the Bolog flamethrower model, so, you know, why not do that? Anyway.
Why don't you go and get me out here? I've got better things to do. Let's just get this mess over with.
After the brief chat, Talion gets to work, and yep, you guessed it, he's fireproof. Don't really know why Talion tried that, but I suppose you have to. Anyway, Talion lays into him with the poison and then goes for the execution. My goodness. Death threat honored. His head flies across the screen, just spraying it with blood. His body goes limp. The Conqueror's fortress has been weakened yet again. Talion jumps back on his trusty drake and gets the hell out of there. If he hangs around the fortress any longer, there's a very high chance that he could be ambushed by an insane amount of orcs. He does a celebratory lap of Lithlad before coming across a large gathering of orcs.
You're just a wriggling maggot, and I'm here to squash you. Your threats are pathetic. I'll show you pain you can't even imagine.
Sorry to pause the video one more time. Can I just point something out here that I only just realized when I've gone to edit the video? That orc said, "You're a wiggling maggot." And he's talking to the Lord of Maggots. That seems like a really rare clip. I I feel like the orcs don't usually point out, like, is this a coincidence, or is this orc literally just pointing out the fact that he's called Lord of Maggots and he's calling him a maggot because of that? Or is this a coincidence? What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments. The Lord of Maggots was taking on another one of Bolog the Conqueror's captains. The fire that Talion's Drake started earlier quickly spread. This, combined with the Lord of Maggots' attacks, led this orc to retreat.
I'll be back another time, and you'll be sorry you ever crossed me!
Where do you think you're going, mate? You're going nowhere! Talion fires an elven arrow into the leg of Crimp the Cruel, and then the Lord of Maggots just riddles his back with spears. My goodness, look at how many spears are in his back! My god, the Lord of Maggots is a savage. Talion congratulates Mr. Maggots and says that he most definitely has proven himself a worthy orc. Now get out of here and go and fight more captains for us. The crazy orcs had heard the maniac's call. They began arriving in Lithlad in droves. If there was a fight to be had, they wanted in. Talion sprints off to investigate whether or not these new crazy orcs can fight.
It's also simple. It's also very simple.
Hurry! It's faster than it looks!
The killer was trying to prove himself by taking on a massive beast. And oh, who's this? He's brought a friend with him, the Ghoul Keeper, also completely deranged. Together they annihilate this Graug almost immediately, with the Ghoul Keeper's poison having a potent effect. But the killer wasn't done there. He wanted more animals' blood on his hands.
Understand? Simple, so simple!
The Caragor dives out of its cage. The Caragor immediately succumbs to the flames from the killer's weapon. Is this enough? Has the killer proved himself? Is he worthy enough to join the maniac's army? As Talion's thinking, he notices a banner orc appear behind him. Og the Quartermaster, the first orc Talion shamed when he arrived in Lithlad. This would be a real test for the killer. The fight doesn't last long, with the Olog delivering massive crushing blows to Og. All it takes is 2 strikes to put him in the sand for good. After that show of strength, there is no doubt in Talion's mind. The killer has a place in the maniac's army. He then slowly walks off on his own adventure. I actually follow him for about 30 minutes, so let me know in the comments if you want to see that as a video. After the fight, Talion notices an execution taking place nearby.
I still say there's a deal to be made here.
Your death will be bad, but even worse will be watching what I do to your boys.
He decides to intervene, but not before summoning in the maniac. He could use the practice. Talion's Drake then shoots an almighty fireball, causing the Brown Orc to flee. I mean, he also was about to be executed, so I would also run away. Right when the maniac was about to deliver the final blow, he gets interrupted.
Let us not waste time. I've waited long enough.
Apparently the hit actually did connect because the Brown is just lying on the floor now. The maniac then shows off his immense strength by quickly dispatching the chill. Yeah, that was a very weird kill cam. The celebrations then get cut short by another Orc's arrival.
I couldn't believe it when I heard it. My blood brother killed by a soft skin. I still don't believe it now that I've seen you. But my blood brother is still dead. And that means I have to kill you.
Push Crimp the Bloodhound had arrived to avenge his blood brother, who I can only assume we just killed. But I don't know if it was the Chill or the Brown Orc. Honestly, I have no idea. I'd like to think if it was the Brown Orc, he would have arrived during the execution to stop it. But anyway, he doesn't last very long, and that is actually a very cool execution. Can we just admire how cool this sword is? Talion then goes off in search of the killer, who apparently doesn't think he's proven himself enough yet.
Anyone who tries passing us will suffer unimaginable agony.
Ah! A filthy hoglick!
It's also simple. It's also very simple.
Of course this horrible overlord has a hoglick working for him. Even a hoglick that's a noble is still just a hoglick. Look at his disgusting facial hair as well. Ah, of course you're enraged by poison, you coward. Hoglick then uses this rage to down the killer. But all of this just acts as a diversion for Talion to swoop in. Talion's been killing hoglicks for years now. He's learnt their weaknesses. He's learnt that they're deeply, deeply allergic to being stabbed in the neck and head. The killer, absolutely ecstatic to still be alive, runs off to find more innocent animals to kill. Talion summoned his Drake. He'd gotten word that 2 of the orcs that had infiltrated the fort were leading one of the Warchiefs to their death. This is actually a mission type that I've never seen before. I've never seen the bodyguard orcs leading the Warchief to a remote area to dispatch him.
So there you stand. But not for long, my grave-walking friend.
The sing-a-song will never end.
The singer lands a massive hit to the back of the Warchief, taking away pretty much all of his health. He then follows it up with a second blow, lighting the fanatical Bolog ablaze. With this Warchief now dead, the fortress loses its command of its savage warriors. Well done, lads. What a mess you've made here. Look at his body. It's twitching. My god. With the Overlord's strongest Warchief now glitching in the ground, the Maniac thought now would be the best time to strike. He assembled his forces, ready to take over this region once and for all. Talion joined them at the front line. It's time to finally see the Overlord that's caused us so much pain.
So here he is!
If you don't remember, this is the orc that ambushed me, killed Bagabug the Stormbringer, and then claimed the throne of Lithlad.
Maybe he's in the wrong fort! Seems to me he has unfinished business elsewhere! You need not fear the dark, brothers. But what you will fear is what lies within it, waiting for you.
Let's see what the Maniac has to say to that.
Gonna be tasty.
Yep, that's sort of what I thought an army of crazy orcs would do. Alright lads, let's go have some fun. The army charges in and immediately starts focusing on the front right wall. It looks like the killer Bolog ran head first into the hard stone. Poor guy just wanted to help out. With the wall now down, the Maniac's forces flooded in, and Talion took every chance he could to steal a kill. This time on the meat hoarder. Talion hates this Overlord and every orc that follows him. With that orc gone, the forces were overwhelmed at this point, and we quickly captured it. But not before this wild Drake just smashed his way in. What an entrance! On to the next point, and Talion takes on Maku the Legendary, knocking him off his Caragor. He quickly closes the gap and hits the poor orc on the floor before he has time to get up. He then notices that one of the Warchiefs is trying to run away. He's trying to flee the fight. That's not allowed, mate. He might be running away to try and bring in reinforcements. No way, Talion thinks to himself. Cowards get the axe. The fighting rages on as Talion tries to make his way back to the point. As you can see, a few of the Maniac's orcs are down, but that doesn't stop the Mindless and the Ghoul Lover from dooming the Prowler. Clearly the fighting has taken its toll on the Maniac's men. Talion takes the point, and then as we're walking, we can see that the Ghoul Hunter has been down, and it seems like the ghoul he summoned is just kind of guarding over his body. That's quite nice. The killer Bolog then collapses due to poisoning. My goodness, these crazy orcs are squishy. On to the next point, and Talion reveals that we have a weaponsmith here, and the Glut taking on the Gorehound. He shoots the barrel and it explodes, covering everything in poison. Which Talion takes advantage of, finishing off the gluttonous Olog. He kind of just ignores the death animation. Goodbye, Mr. Gluttonous. With the Gluttonoid gone, we easily take the point. Moving on to the next area, it was actually supposed to be ruled by the Fanatical, but you guys know what happened to him, so we easily take this point as well. Talion sends the troops forward while he surveys the area on one of the drakes he's captured. Fishcrimp the Tasty meets his end. It's time to dive on into the fight, and Talion immediately takes out this Olog Warchief. He takes the point, and then gets up 2 of his Warchiefs. With the forces rejuvenated, they move on to take the final point. Talion shoots a barrel of seemingly poison, which explodes everywhere, covering all of the orcs. He then comes face to face with Zuka.
Come on, Ranger. Try and get me. I've already thought out 10 moves ahead, and in all of them, you lose!
The fighting starts out with Talion and the Singer taking on Zuka. Luga the Gorehound successfully takes out the weaponsmith. And it's only a few seconds before Talion's able to finish off the Lucky. A few arrows to the noggin should do it.
He's a fast runner.
With the Maniac's forces now having the upper hand, we were able to take the final point. But because we rushed to take the point, sadly, we lost some of the Warchiefs. These deaths only spurred Talion on. Zuka could feel a shift in the fight. He goes to run, but Talion pins his foot. He then hits him with multiple strikes before shattering his body. With the bodyguards and Warchiefs all now dead, the fortress was ours, but the lads didn't celebrate. It had taken a lot to get to this moment, but the fight wasn't over yet. Talion was about to come face to face with the orc powerful enough to slay Bagabug the Stormbringer.
Let me tell you how this little siege battle ends. The same way our last battle ended, with you dead.
No witty reply this time. He was focused, cold and calculated. Bolog stands up as he sees the maniac in his doorway. Talion's not fighting this one alone. He quickly fires an arrow into the rushing Olog, before unleashing an onslaught of headshots on Bolog's forces. He dashes in, trying to catch the overlord off guard. What a cocky orc not to have a single bodyguard. Does he think Talion's a joke? That question was soon answered. The punches to the head had left Talion weak. He was only able to just deflect what would have certainly been a death blow.
Just flesh wounds, Pigskin. I got plenty of fight left in me.
As they back away from each other, the maniac lands a massive blow. Talion then goes on a bit of a rampage, trying to take out all of the grunts in the throne room. Making the fight a 2v1 would certainly be in his favour, but the overlord's persistent. Charging in, Talion only just dashes away in time. He then hits him with a flurry of attacks before kneeing him in the stomach. Together, the two of them work seamlessly to lower the health of the overlord. With the two of them landing multiple strikes on the overlord, cracks began to emerge. They could see his strength fading away, but a dog is most dangerous when it's backed into a corner.
Time to die.
While Talion was finishing off the last grunt, Bolog leaped across the throne room and struck him with both his axes. Talion drops to the floor as the overlord goes in for the final blow. It was Bagabug the Stormbringer. He'd come back to save Talion. Honestly, this is the craziest ending to the Maniac story. I didn't even know that I still had Savior turned on at this point.
We have reclaimed what was rightfully ours. Let the Lord of Mordor be warned.
Every attack he launches will be met with steel and fury! Every army he sends will be annihilated!
With the tyranny of Bolog over, and Bagabug having gotten his revenge, Lithlad could now become a sanctuary to all crazy orcs across Mordor. Under the reign of the maniac Bolog, Lithlad could thrive once again. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you like the story, please do like the video. Subscribe, I guess, if you haven't subscribed. I don't know why you'd be at the end of the video if you're not subscribed. And yeah, leave a comment for what you'd like to see next for the Maniac.